This is your captain speaking. I have your attention for a moment. We are crossing the Australian coast just north of the New South Wales-Queensland border. Down below is the Gold Coast. Brisbane is only 40 miles away and will arrive in a few minutes. Thank you.
There is a parallel of latitude girdling the Earth where nature's thermostat has been set in the medium position. A magnetic field where winter and summer merge. A mecca for millions. 2 annual pilgrims, Jack and Mary Stewart, have brought their family 500 miles from home in Sydney to holiday at the southern end of Australia's Riviera, the Gold Coast. I hope you brought your surfboard, young man. Another convert, lethargic, skeptical businessman Jim Bradley, who has come 1,000 miles from Melbourne, because his wife is quietly convinced that here in this warm, temperate climate, sunshine and surf are not the prerogative of youth. They've joined the thousands who've accepted the invitation to paradise. 20 years ago, there was only sand backed by scrub bush at the foot of the Great Dividing Range. Now a city of 40,000, whose only business is providing pleasure. George here is one of those who helps provide that pleasure. He owns an auto museum in the area, and with one of his most famous exhibits, Genevieve of film fame, today they have a very special welcome in store for 2 New Zealand visitors arriving by bus from Brisbane Airport. Lynette and Diane are George's nieces, and he's promised them a holiday they'll never forget. Incidentally, there's another member of the family who scores an instant success with Lynette. From a parlour coach to air-conditioned transport of another kind, Uncle George has planned a sightseeing tour first up, so let's go along. George has watched the coast grow. He tells them that there was a great need to establish an away-from-it-all spot for the people of 3 large cities, Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. Somewhere to relax at any time in the year, logically in the Sunshine State, Queensland. So, Sleeping Beauty came awake. Money and people poured in to build a place where convention is not conservative, a Shangri-La with no background of hidebound tradition. In a very few years, the 4 main towns on a 20-mile coastal strip, Coolangatta, Burleigh Head, Surfers Paradise and Southport, were linked together as the Gold Coast City. Definitely a place to stay a while and play a while. Down there, Melbourne businessman Jim Bradley is just coming around the corner, arriving at a luxury hotel. For a fortnight, they'll clean his shoes, his car, even manicure his nails if he wants it that way. Jean will be happy because they'll ease the tension. The cares of office and stock market will be many miles away. You know, Omar Khayyam would have loved this tempo. Here's a place devoted to the gentle art of lazy living. And whether or not your salad days are over, a bottle of wine and thou are never very far from your thoughts beneath the waving palms of Australia's Aloha Land. One of the great advantages of the short history of the Gold Coast is the fact that everything has been built in the last 20 years, a lot in the last 5. These are serviced apartments chosen by Jack and Mary Stewart. With 3 youngsters, it's not easy to have a relaxing holiday, but the car's parked nearby, their own pools outside the bedroom door, and if you can stand the walk, the beach is only 50 yards away. Jim made this booking when he came up to play in the Winter Bowls Carnival, So this afternoon there'll be a welcome reunion with some old friends. And what about Lynette and Diane? Uncle George has booked them in among the hundreds of youngsters who come and go every week. Eyes flashing on arrival, a little moist on departure, because this is where memories are made. 20 miles of friendly smiles and a mighty warm welcome. One of those memories in the making, an all-day cruise to Stradbroke Island. You can mix aquaplaning with water skiing, surfing, hiking, and even fishing. That pickup boat's had a busy day, but there's relaxation ahead with a sunbathing session and newfound friends to pass the time till lunch. And there's that man-sized steak you'll taste again every time you think about it. Later, you can have an afternoon siesta or something a little more energetic, depending on your digestion. Over on the mainland, beside the peaceful Nerang River, Mary Stewart has persuaded Jim to see a bikini show, as if he ever needed any persuasion. Much of the top fashion for other Australian beaches is born on the Gold Coast. It was here the bikini won its battle for existence in Australia. Back in those beckoning hills, somewhere deep in that distinctive silhouette etched against the sky, our Melbourne pair, Jim and Jean Bradley, are among the many exploring the silent sentinel of that great dividing range. In this rainforest area, they can really appreciate the beauty around them, revel in the peace and quiet as they breathe the sharp mountain air. Up here, you can relax as nowhere else. Oh, but there is one other place where you can equally appreciate the curves and contours of nature. As you'll gather, we've left Jim and Jean up in the hinterland 20 miles away to spend a few moments relaxing in different fashion on the beach among the bikinis. And remember, this is winter, at a time when there'd be a fire burning in the grate back home. On second thoughts, let's not remember, here it's eternally spring. For a real surf thrill, a combination of board riding and sailing as the catamarans take to the waves. No, you don't have to do this. Just watch it. World champions on skis at Paradise Gardens in a climate made for outdoor sports. High-powered speedboats and beautiful ballerinas team up with the skiers to give a 2-hour performance every day. Most of the highlight attractions on the Gold Coast are the kind that bring you back every year, worth seeing again. They're said to be the most intelligent form of marine life. Certainly, they'd have to know what they're doing to be so gentle with the youngsters. You don't always get that kind of underwater cooperation. No need to worry. These fellas are not in the same pool as the others, but in the aquarium alongside. Seems to prove the theory that not all sharks are menacing. And so to bed for the young Stewarts, as usual, happily tired. They're being tucked in by a babysitter because Mum and Dad are out to dinner. Nighttime has its own special charm and varied appeal. Our two girls are going to a pirate night tonight. Tomorrow, a bus trip with a supper dance, then a concert on the beach. The general idea, no need to be lonely. While the others are sampling the more sophisticated nightlife with music designed to match the temptations of an international menu. A place where your appetite is at loggerheads with your diet chart. It's the sort of thing you might even dream about. But in this case, it's probably ice cream. Certainly a dream's coming true for Mum and Dad. And these 2,000 dancers should dispel any doubts you might have had about adequate company for teenagers. But now, the glamour and excitement of an Hawaiian luau, another memory in the making. This time filed under the magic of the Gold Coast moon. Well, as you might say, the holiday is bowling along. Our three pairs have seen each other in a lot of places together, but it's left to neighbouring alleys to strike up an acquaintance. Jim's teaching the girls to score and finds they learn pretty fast. Early morning, and the sun shines quietly on a group waiting for the curious human. For here is a golden opportunity to make friends with the kangaroo. In this sanctuary, they've learned to trust the infectious spirit of friendliness around them. So too the koala, the teddy bear that never drinks. Sometimes the raindrops and heavy dew lying in the center of the flowers and buds makes it hard for these lorikeets to get at nature's store of honey. But around 8 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon in a place called Currumbin, they've found where there are plates of bread soaked in that same sweet nectar. They've learned too that here people are different, carefree and kind. Now, how about morning tea with good companions on a hilltop with a 20-mile view of paradise in every direction? A vista of blue water and beckoning beaches. The dominating sound of the surf as it spreads its creamy foam on the rocks at Burleigh Heads. The end of an 8,000-mile journey from South America. The end, too, of a Gold Coast interlude for our New Zealand girls. They're going further north into Queensland for more fun in the sun. Uncle George and Genevieve come out to speed them on their way. Behind them, hotel friends drive a parade from the past to watch them fly into the future. There is a sadness about parting from newly made friends, but this is a place with a magnetic, beckoning finger. When they get home, they'll all pass on that invitation to paradise. They'll tell others that it's gilt-edged and there's no date alongside the RSVP because the Gold Coast city stands on no ceremony. You're always welcome.